The moment currently lived by West Ham United carries a powerful blend of urgency and renewed belief. Since Paco Gémez arrived in January to join Nuno Espirito Santo's staff, something has undeniably shifted behind the scenes and, more importantly, on the pitch. A former teammate of Nuno at Deportivo La Coruña, Gémez brought with him a refined attacking philosophy that quickly began to influence performances. Players like Jared Bowen and Crescencio Somerville have shown greater fluidity, confidence, and creativity in the final third, lifting the team's competitive edge at a crucial stage of the campaign. Yet football rarely allows comfort. While the attacking play begins to flourish, a long-standing issue continues to haunt West Ham: defensive vulnerability from set pieces. The numbers are stark and unforgiving. 17 goals conceded from such situations, the worst record in the Premier League this season. In a competition defined by fine margins, this weakness is not just concerning, it is potentially decisive. When placed into context, the concern deepens further. West Ham have conceded 4 more set-piece goals than Nottingham Forest, 5 more than Leeds United, and 8 more than Tottenham Hotspur. In a relegation battle where every detail matters, these figures highlight a structural flaw that cannot be ignored. Each poorly defended corner or free kick carries the weight of dropped points and mounting pressure. This leads to an increasingly obvious conclusion: the urgent need for a specialist set-piece coach. Even with the transfer window closed, clubs retain the ability to strengthen their backroom staff. For Nuno Espirito Santo, this represents a strategic opportunity. Just as Paco Gémez reshaped the attacking identity, a dedicated defensive specialist could stabilize one of the team's most damaging weaknesses. With 7 matches remaining, hesitation is no longer an option. The decision must be swift and effective. One name that naturally emerges is Kevin Nolan, a figure deeply connected to the club and recently parted ways with Northampton Town. His understanding of West Ham's identity and environment could prove invaluable in a moment where immediate impact is essential. Ultimately, the message is clear. West Ham cannot afford to continue conceding from set pieces. In a league as unforgiving as the Premier League, such vulnerabilities are punished relentlessly. For a club of this stature and tradition, relegation is not merely a risk. It is a scenario that must be avoided at all costs. Before we carry on, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This is really important because it strengthens the Claret and Blue family, making our West Ham bigger and stronger every day. The feeling after the final whistle at Villa Park was one of frustration, but also accountability. Mads Hermansen did not hide following West Ham United's 2-0 defeat against Aston Villa. The Danish goalkeeper, who had been one of the key figures in the team's recent resurgence, made it clear that the squad will respond. Amid the international break, he stressed that the team will come back stronger, acknowledging that this was not the result they wanted to close this phase of the season. The defeat on Sunday brought West Ham's momentum in the relegation battle to a sudden halt. The 2-0 scoreline represented more than just dropped points. It carried the feeling of a setback at a time when precision is everything. Still, the situation is not entirely bleak. Tottenham Hotspur's defeat in the same round kept hope alive for Nuno Espirito Santo's side, especially with 7 decisive matches still to be played. On the pitch, the most delicate moment of the match involved Hermansen himself. In a rare lapse, he failed to hold a long-range effort from Morgan Rogers, allowing Ollie Watkins the opportunity to score. It was a costly error that heavily influenced the outcome. Yet, reducing his performance to that moment alone would be unfair. Over the course of the match, Hermansen made 4 important saves, recorded 7 recoveries, and claimed 1 high ball, numbers that underline his continued importance to the team. After the match, the Danish goalkeeper shared a post on social media featuring images from the game, accompanied by a direct and emotional message. It was not how they wanted to enter the international break, but the commitment is to return stronger. He also expressed gratitude for the traveling supporters, once again highlighting the bond between the team and its fans, a connection that may prove vital in the closing stages. Words alone, of course, do not secure results. However, the context offers West Ham a genuine opportunity to turn intention into action. Their next Premier League fixture is a crucial one, a home clash against Wolverhampton Wanderers. A victory would not only bring 3 vital points, but could also see them overtake Tottenham in the table, dramatically shifting the outlook for the run-in. The atmosphere in East London is expected to be tense, charged with expectation and nerves. But these are the moments that define teams. West Ham must find solutions, show resilience, and above all, deliver efficiency. And at the heart of that effort will once again be Hermansen, a player who, despite the recent mistake, has demonstrated enough quality and character to remain a key figure. The decision to sign him from Leicester City last summer may yet prove decisive. If he maintains his recent level and turns the error against Aston Villa into a learning moment, Hermansen could play a crucial role in keeping the club in the top flight. Because ultimately, that is what is at stake: survival, pride, and the continuation of West Ham United's story. Before we carry on, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This is really important because it strengthens the Claret and Blue family, making our West Ham bigger and stronger every day. There are moments in a season that define not only results, but the very character of a football club. West Ham United now find themselves at precisely such a crossroads. Between clear signs of progress and persistent vulnerabilities, the Hammers walk a fine line where every detail may determine survival or scoot. What emerges from these two narratives is a striking duality: evolution built through intelligent decisions, and recurring flaws that continue to exact a heavy price. The arrival of Paco Gémez alongside Nuno Espirito Santo was not merely a change in personnel, it represented a shift in mentality. The immediate impact on the attacking unit, particularly in the performances of Jared Bowen and Crescencio Somerville, illustrates how decisions made off the pitch can reshape behavior on it. There is now greater fluidity, renewed belief, and a clearer attacking identity. West Ham look, once again, like a side capable of expressing themselves with confidence. Yet football demands balance, and therein lies the central challenge. While the attack has evolved, the defense continues to show dangerous habits, especially when dealing with set pieces. Conceding 17 goals from such situations in the Premier League is not merely a negative statistic, it is a glaring structural issue. In a league where marginal gains decide outcomes, this weakness becomes a critical liability that cannot be overlooked. And then comes the symbolic moment at Villa Park. The defeat to Aston Villa was more than a setback. It was a reminder that partial improvement is not enough. Mads Hermansen, who had been one of the team's most reliable performers, found himself at the center of a decisive error. A single moment, yes, but one that reflects how narrow margins can produce major consequences. Still, isolating that mistake would ignore the broader consistency he has shown in recent weeks. What stands out, however, is not just the mistake, but the response. Hermansen's reaction, composed, accountable, and forward-looking, reflects a wider mentality within the squad. There is unity, there is belief, and crucially, there is still time. With 7 matches remaining, West Ham's fate remains unwritten, suspended between hope and danger. It is within this context that Nuno Espirito Santo's decisions take on immense significance. If the appointment of Paco Gémez has already yielded visible results, then replicating that strategy becomes an obvious path. The absence of a dedicated set-piece specialist is a gap that demands urgent attention. Just as the attack has found direction, the defense now requires structure, discipline, and accountability. A figure such as Kevin Nolan offers not only tactical value, but a deep emotional connection to the club's identity. At the same time, the fixture list offers no pause. The upcoming clash against Wolverhampton Wanderers carries enormous weight. This is not simply another match, it is an opportunity to redefine the trajectory of the season. Overtaking Tottenham Hotspur in the table would represent more than numerical progress. It would provide a psychological lift capable of reshaping the final stretch. Ultimately, everything converges on a single truth. West Ham still control their own destiny, but decisive action is required immediately. Between tactical adjustments, key decisions behind the scenes, and responses on the pitch, every choice will matter. Because history is not only written in moments of brilliance, but in how a club responds to its flaws. Perhaps that is what defines great football institutions. Not the absence of errors, but the ability to rebuild through them, with courage, clarity, and identity. West Ham United are being tested, and the coming weeks will reveal whether this group is ready to honor the weight of that shirt. That's a wrap for today's update on West Ham. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, share it with other Hammers fans, and subscribe so you're always in the loop. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.